teachers, today we'll be talking about a bittersweet tool for English assessment, aka the journals. Now, let's establish some facts concerning journals. Number one, what is a journal? A journal is a document where you can record basically everything you want. Your emotions, your experiences, your thoughts, your concerns, whatever you want to record, you can put it in a journal. Number two, what's the purpose of using journals? Well, there are two main purposes. Number one, developing critical thinking. And number two, improving your writing, your productive skills. We'll talk more about it later in other facts, okay? 3. In case you wonder, yes, there are many different types of journals. As we said before, journals can be about everything, so that makes it hard to establish a specific number of characteristics of types of journals. But basically, you can have Bible journals, you can have travel journals, you can have a daily journal. Down below in the description box, I will be leaving a link of a page that has some examples of how you can use a journal. And when could you use your journals? They need to be constant, okay? That's something that is very clear. They need to be constant. You can use them every day at the beginning of your class, or every day at the end of your class, or 3 times per week, or 1 time per week, okay? But you need to have it constantly so your students can progress. What does the journal usually measure or assess? Well, journals usually measure or assess grammar accuracy or spelling accuracy or vocabulary accuracy in terms of, is the student using this word correctly? Does the student knows really what this word means, or is he using it just because he wants to fill a space? In your journals, you might not be wanting to evaluate, to assess the opinions of students. You focus on the grammar, on the spelling, on those structures, and you don't focus on the opinion, because sometimes you might have different opinions or you might think in a different way. So it's not okay to be subjective. You need to be objective when checking students' journals. And that leads me to the next point. What skills are being developed in journals? Well, you can develop your grammar accuracy, you can develop writing fluency, you can develop and improve your vocabulary acquisition, you can put into practice idioms or phrasal verbs or any part of speech that you may want to put into practice. And if you are asking if there is a specific sequence of steps to write journals, no, it varies according to every teacher. You choose if you throw them to the water, which is not the best option. But first of all, you might want to teach them the grammar, you might want to teach them vocabulary, you might want to teach them after that how to make a sentence, how to make paragraphs, how to narrate their experiences, or how to communicate their thoughts. And then you can start leaving them prompts at the beginning, okay? You tell them, okay, so let's write about how we felt today, or let's write about our most embarrassing moments in our lives, etc., etc. And then with the time, when they get to the top levels of the Violet's taxonomy, they can create their own journals without having a prompt, with total freedom. And now let's talk about the advantages of journaling. First of all, as I told you, your students will become fluent writers. They will be able to write correctly the vocabulary terms. They will be able to use the grammar structures in a proper way. They will know how to structure their thoughts in a written way. Another advantage, and one that is very important, is that the journals can be meaningful. They can become really meaningful for students if you choose the correct prompts. Prompts that are trendy, prompts that are engaging, things that are about them. Don't put them to write about politics, about Donald Trump, about South Korea, North Korea. Those things are things that students don't like. So it's better to put them to make them write things that that they really like, that they really relate to. Okay? And finally, the third advantage that I found, and that is my favorite one, is that they become better thinkers. They develop their emotional intelligence while developing writing skills. Yes, they can reflect upon their lives, they can reflect upon their opinions, and they can share it. Share it even if it's not to everyone, they at least be sharing for themselves, and they will be able to process their thoughts and their emotions better. It will help them not only with their accuracy and their fluency, but it will help them to manage their hearts. And now the disadvantages, because unfortunately, journals aren't the perfect assessing tool. First of all, journals can't be used with low proficiency level students, okay? My students, for example, last year didn't know how to write a paragraph. So if they don't know how to write a paragraph, how will they be writing a journal? They will not know what to write. So in case you want to use journals with low proficiency level students, you might take this into consideration, and you might start teaching them first the verb tenses, the more vocabulary, and then you can ask them to start writing sentences, then you can ask them to write paragraphs, and then you can ask them to write a journal. But they need to have a long process before, okay? Another disadvantage is that you cannot expect the same from everyone, unfortunately. Some students might be writing the minimum required, and some students will be writing more than the minimum and more than the maximum. If you ask them 3 paragraphs, they will be writing 2 sheets, and that will be, well, the difference will be notorious. And that takes me to the third disadvantage, the third difficulty. It will be time consuming for you, okay? As a teacher, you will take a lot of your time checking the journals, checking the spelling, checking the grammar, and providing feedback to each student. So if you want to to have students writing journals, you might take this into account too. And that's basically everything you need to know concerning journals. If you have any question, you might write me, and I will be leaving, as I told you before, some links and some ideas in the description box. Okay? Bye!